what's important is not only finding that relationship, but maintaining that relationship, not just like talking once and never speaking again. I definitely like liking their posts and commenting, and maybe like recommending someone you know that might be a better fit for the job as well. And if you can utilize them at some point in the future, like they're going to remember your face, see your name, and you're not just going to be a stranger to them either.
I didn't know that my job was a job until I saw someone doing it, somebody who looked like me doing it. There was this woman on stage one day. I was at a festival and she was fixing a microphone. And I was like, whoa, I've never seen a woman on stage fixing a microphone. Like it's never been anyone that looks like me in any way. And I got really excited about seeing this woman. And very long story short, I found the woman who was fixing the mic on stage, discovered that she was the tour manager, and then I stalked her for a year and a half until she let me have a job with her. And yeah, I was very persistent. I knew she would do shows in different cities, so I would go to these shows and wait for her at the door and kind of be like, hey, I'm this girl, like I want to do this thing with you. I'll work for free if I must, but like let me work. And after a year and a half of doing that, she finally was like, okay, I'll let you do some stuff.
Then I joined a startup, and startup life is hard. You have to wear so many different hats. So I was wearing the production hat, and also the operations and the e-commerce, and just I had my hands in a lot of different pots, but I think it really set me up with a lot of good experience in the e-commerce world.
As for networking on LinkedIn, I think cold reaching out to people really sets you apart. I promised myself that every Monday morning I would just get on LinkedIn and try to connect with 5 to 10 industry professionals and just introduce myself and just ask them if they wanted to chat sometime. And I met some really cool people just off of that. Because Boney Bear's manager lives in Minnesota, I was able to connect with her just off of LinkedIn. And all these crazy things have happened just from introducing yourself and just kind of leading with your passion. So you don't have to feel intimidated at all, at least as a student. I think if you just kind of introduce yourself, say I'm super passionate about what you're doing. I've seen you do this, this, and this, would love to learn more. And just doing that. As for finding gigs, kind of informally, I've noticed that providing value to people just in any way you can and showing that you're listening and caring is the biggest thing. I remember at my past internship experience, my boss noticed me after he met me for the assistant gig. I realized that there was a way on Reddit I could help market his artist. So I kind of did it without asking. And I texted him, I'm like, hey, I just made this Reddit post about your artist. Let me know what you think. And he was really blown away by that. So kind of providing value without asking, I think is a big way to set yourself apart. Hope all of that makes sense.
Yeah, with fashion, merchandising, there's just many roads that you can go down. There's product development, there's sourcing, and working with China, and working with overseas suppliers. What else? E-commerce, visual merchandising, e-commerce, store planning, and as far as my education and experience, I was always interested in product and how the cost associated with it, and sourcing, talking to different suppliers. So that's definitely one of my interests. But then as time progressed within my career, I became interested in more e-commerce and just having I guess just like the visual side. I'm interested in many different aspects of merchandising. So I feel like that it's very flexible between the two paths.
A lot of musicians and bands and stuff make a good chunk of money from merch. And so you have to keep really good records of all that we're projecting to sell for the night out. You know, setting all of it up as well. So like making sure that it looks cute, that if you're getting a shirt that has a front and a back, that it's displayed, the front and the back of the shirt are displayed. That they're, you know, that if you are displaying things, that you have all the sizes up. Because the worst thing is to have a really long line and have someone say, hey, can you show me what a size large looks like? And all of the ones that you've displayed are small.
I think the future of merchandise on the artist side is going to be kind of like similar to like the rise of influencer marketing. I think more artists are going to kind of look to brands to like collaborate on certain merch lines. I think that is definitely the future. I know there's an artist that I follow named Glaive, and I know he signed to Interscope, and I've heard him talk about possibly doing like a merch line with a company. And I think like just how like influencers are so prevalent now, and it's not like obviously you want something like with the band's name on it, but you also want something designed by the artist that you really like too. So I think like more creative brand collaborations are the future, I guess.
Working with Universal has definitely been like a huge game changer for me. And I guess like in overall, like if you guys are ever like, you know, working somewhere, like don't be afraid to like ask, hey, how can I step up? Like, how can I move up? Like, what does it take? And that's kind of what I did. I saw that someone else that we all started off with, like there were 4 assistants that came in and someone moved up, and I was like, hey, like I'd love to be a store manager. Like, what can I do to get there? And from there, I was transferred over to like Interscope, and I worked with under one senior store manager. And yeah, they just handed me like a few of my own stores, and then I just like managed those, see how it went. And yeah, I was just trying to be on top of my game, and you know, everyone's human, people make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes. I still make mistakes now, but I think a big thing is just being incredibly accountable and putting your ego to the side and knowing when you messed up, how to correct yourself. And I think honestly, it was surprising they moved me up. Like, not that I'm bad, like I love my job and I know I'm good at it. It was still just like making mistakes and kind of putting myself down. But for, I guess, knowing like, you know, being accountable, being on top of your stuff, and just being passionate about what you do helped me get to where I'm at.